The best goal that you can have in life is to build a life that you don't need a vacation from. Building a life that every day is a blessing. Welcome back to another episode of Sweat Talk. My name's Chad. Today I want to talk about goal building and having the courage to change so that you can build those goals, so that you can build that life of your dream, the life that you don't feel like you need to run from or vacation from. Every day that we're on this earth is a blessing. Hello. We need to remember that. Every minute that we're on this earth is a blessing. When we open our eyes in the morning, that's not guaranteed to happen. When we get home from work, that's not promised either. You could get in a car wreck, end up in the hospital, severely injured, or dead. If you have a family, if you have a life that you've established, remember every day to be grateful for it. Hello. Hi. It's not always easy to remember. It's too easy to get stuck in your own head and think, man, I'm so miserable. My life is so hard. Embracing that victim mentality. This trail is busy today. Wow, tons of people. Oh my gosh. This is one of the more popular places to hike in my area. I've only been on this trail one time, and it's because it gets so crowded. But I figured on a Monday morning, I'd be able to get out here and there wouldn't be anybody here. I was wrong. Boy, I was wrong. But it's okay, it's fine. I actually look at the crowds of people, the hordes of people, and realize it's actually a good thing. It's good for me to be able to get out of my comfort zone. It's good practice for me to learn how to talk on camera in public. As I'm telling you, it's tough. It's tough. I never really realized it until I started doing it, and I realized how nerve-wracking it could actually be. The size of this tree. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, having the courage to change and finding the courage to change, it's difficult because, yesterday's video was about forgetting about people's judgments, right? One thing we heed too much is other people's opinions. Realizing how much another person's opinion can impact your life and the outcome of your life. That could be anybody. It could be brothers, sisters, wife, kid, the whole nine. And I just watched a fantastic video. From a gentleman. He sounded like he might have been Scottish. I don't know. I'm not very good at identifying accents. But he was talking about going through existential crisis and in your 40s. When I was in my 20s, I thought that an existential crisis, midlife crisis, I thought that was funny. I thought it was just a joke. That somebody midlife was suffering, like maybe they made it up in their own minds. And I can tell you, it is not a joke. It is as serious gets. I always thought it was funny, midlife crisis car, Corvette. Everybody in their 40s wants to get a Corvette. I'd like to have a Corvette, but I've always liked them. But he points out that sometimes people in their midlife crisis, they want to leave their wife, leave their family behind, leave everything that they know behind, and start dating like younger women. But check this out. Isn't this something? God, it's so beautiful out here. But he pointed out some incredible facts that, ever since you're a teenager, you've been putting yourself last. You get married, you have children, and your entire life. So the gentleman's video who I just watched, his name was Anthony Parkins V2. Go check him out. He's putting out a good word. He's doing good work. Very small channel, but he's one of these YouTubers that's really small that I expect big things from. I can see him having an extremely promising future on YouTube, and I love seeing channels grow. That's my favorite thing about YouTube, period. But he points out some good things, like you spent your entire life, you made it all the way to your 40s, and you've been spending your entire life putting yourself last. Hello? Morning. So then eventually it might catch up to you, and you find yourself in a selfish moment where you're thinking, hey, why am I always putting myself last? But the reality is you're not. You're not. You're actually putting yourself first because you made a promise. You made a promise to your family, especially when you get married. You said, I do. You made a promise to that person, stick with them through thick and thin, in sickness and in health. Hello. You made that promise, as well as your wife. And remember, your child didn't ask you to have them either. So you made a promise, you made a commitment to them. Growing up, my wife has been so supportive. My daughter's been so amazing that I never had that issue, really. I can say that there was times where I thought maybe I was putting myself at the back, or I was saying no to myself and yes to my family. But that's the selfish me talking. We all experience that. We have to be able to figure it out and realize that we are the one that's feeling that. And it's not so. Your wife, she's sacrificing. Your child, they're sacrificing. Your children, they're sacrificing. Everybody that's inside of the nuclear household is all making sacrifices for the greater cause of having a happy family. And it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. But then he also points out for the first time in your life, you're halfway through life or more, and it's the first time in your life that you have to face mortality. You have to actually look at yourself in the mirror. Maybe your parents die, maybe your grandparents die, and you're forced to look at the mortality of your life and realize you are going to die. The risks of life are real. You realize in your 40s you're not indestructible anymore. And that's what brings out this conversation today of having the courage to change and how it's not easy. But a lot of it boils down to the people that you associate yourself with, being supportive or unsupportive, being good people or not being good people. Only you know. Only you can decide if the people that you hang out with are good people. One metrics to measure by is if you give them good news, you're excited about something, you want to do something. How do they react? Do they bring in a bunch of negativity? Do they try to get you to overanalyze everything? Figure out all of the risks involved? Figure out what the risks are. Don't overanalyze it. Everything has risks, so just do it. There are some risks that you need to figure out. There's some things that you have to figure out in order to be able to make the changes that you want. Maybe it's how much money you need to come up with. Or maybe it's how you're going to get started. Are you afraid of failure? How do you overcome being afraid of failure? What's the risk of failing? What do you have at stake? You have to have the courage to change and look inside of yourself. You have to have the courage to find the skeletons that you have in your closet. You have to have the courage to know your own part, to not be a victim. Check this out. Big old tunnel. It's freaking awesome, isn't it? Gosh, this place is so beautiful. I'm so grateful. Love it. But maybe just changing means becoming more spiritual. Maybe it means connecting with God, believing in the universe, believing in a higher power, believing in something that's greater than just you. Meditate, pray. You know, the type of people that I hung out with growing up, you would never admit to them that you pray. Never. You would never tell them that you believed in God. They'd make fun of you. That's one way that I know that I was hanging out with the wrong crowd. One of many. But as I get older, I realize the strength of prayer, the strength in meditation. Prayer and meditation can be one thing. God isn't going to just give you whatever it is that you want right now. You have to wait. You have to wait till you're ready, and God's going to wait till you're ready. He knows who you are. The universe knows who you are. They know exactly what you want. And it's not easy to find those signs, right? Like, you look at, things will pop out at you. Things will jump at you. Once you start meditating, you clear your mind, you open up your spiritual mindset. You tap into your subconscious mind. Once you figure out how to tap into your subconscious mind, you become unstoppable. You're going to find that through prayer and meditation. That's how you're going to get somewhere. Most people that are in their 40s, they're going to find that, yeah, you can afford that nice car. You can afford to go on that sweet vacation because you've worked your ass off through your 20s and 30s. Anymore, it's hard to say because everything is so expensive. I can't really say, I mean, everybody's going to be different. But in your 40s is when you actually start living. But then oftentimes people experience some sort of an existential crisis. And that crisis, it comes from our nutrition. We can blame all the things that I said earlier. We can blame everything. Our existential crisis, we can blame it on everything around us. We can blame it on outside influences, external influences, if you will. We can blame it on whatever. But at that point, all we're doing is being a victim. Think about, all right, it's so hard to wrap your head around good nutrition and how powerful it is for your mindset. Because we don't eat healthy. By the time you get to your mid-40s, you're gonna spend 40 years eating junk food. You've been told and lied to by the FDA. If you don't know who Ansel Keys is, look him up. Everything that man has written should be completely wiped off the face of the earth and out of the books That's where the sugar myth comes from, that it's good for you, that your body needs carbohydrates. That's where the fat myth comes from, that saturated fat is bad for you and high cholesterol is bad for you. So I could go on for days about this Ansel Keys fella, but he was just bought and paid for by Big Sugar, the big sugar industry. He sold his soul, and it's been proven. But think about it this way. One of the side effects to lead poisoning is you'll go insane. You'll go nuts. You'll lose your mind. That's literally one of the side effects from being poisoned. All the garbage you've consumed, all the plants and all the garbage that you've consumed over the years, it's doing the exact same thing. It's poisoning you. It's poisoning your mind. So what all this has, everything that I've been saying has to do with the courage to change, is it does take courage to change your nutrition. Going carnivore, I can't recommend it enough. But even if you don't go carnivore, you have to have the courage to say no to all the junk food that's filling your life, to the poison that's filling your mind, and that could literally be driving you insane. By 40, you've spent 40 years poisoning yourself, filling your body with toxins. 40 years, and you never knew it. You never had any idea, because you listened to the lies. You trusted in the science, right? You thought you were doing well. You thought you were doing good. But meanwhile, you're being brainwashed, and you're going insane for it. But then you go to the doctor, and the doctor has another pill for you so that you can overcome that sickness, right? Hello. But then you also have to have the courage to focus on you until the focus is you. Proper nutrition. I'm telling you, you cut out all the garbage, you cut out all those toxins, all the poisons. Because remember, a plant doesn't have any way to defend itself. If you saw yesterday's video, I got tagged by a stinging nettle plant, a stinging nettle bush. Got my leg, hurt like hell. I hate those things. They stick tiny little needles in your skin with poison on the end of them. Try eating one of those. In fact, you can eat those. They sell the stinging nettle root as a supplement. My brother pointed out a seriously good fact as well. One of my brothers pointed out to me this morning an amazing observation. The supplements that are sold, the vitamins that are sold every day in the store, the gummies. Remember when we were kids, the Flintstone vitamins, right? We were told that those Flintstone multivitamins were good for us. They tasted like candy to get us to take our vitamins. Now we're adults. Times have changed. It's not Flintstone anymore. It's gummies. So now all those vitamin supplements that you think that you need, that you've been taking all these years, all this time, it tastes like candy, still to this day, to get you to take your vitamins. Because allegedly, you need these vitamins. You don't. If you go carnivore, you don't have to supplement anything. Like I've said before, I do take a pre-workout. I just like the way that it makes me feel. It's not necessary. I can guarantee you it's not necessary. But if you're getting all the nutrients that your body needs, then why do you have to take supplements? Why do you supplement anything? If you're getting all of the vitamins and nutrients, you don't need any of that. You don't need to take supplements because you have everything right in red meat. If you're going through an existential crisis and you're worried about your cholesterol, because in your 40s, your cholesterol does become a concern for most people, because it can be the small kind or the big fluffy kind. It can clog your arteries. It can harden your arteries. But I want you to think about something. Think about if you're going through an existential crisis and you are depressed, you're feeling alone, you're feeling anxiety, maybe you're feeling like hurting yourself. If you are going through that, number one, suicide can be put off till tomorrow. That's the one thing that I will tell you to put off, for obvious reasons, right? But if you are going through that, who gives a damn about your cholesterol and how high it is? Who cares? If you can feel good now, if you can feel good for the rest of your life, however long your life is, if you're feeling like killing yourself, you're about to end your life anyway. Change your diet. Try carnivore. Give it a try. You'll find that your body is getting all the nutrients it needs. You are actually getting everything that you need. The cholesterol is going to go higher, but it's going to turn into good cholesterol. It's not going to clog up your arteries. It is everything that you need in one meal. No more buying supplements. I hear people say it all the time, going carnivore is more expensive. It's not if you do it right. We buy our beef in bulk. We buy it by the cow. The last one we bought was half a cow. We have another cow that's actually being raised, and it'll be ready in probably 6-8 months. In the meantime, we've already eaten almost an entire half of a cow in just a couple of months. But then once this cow is gone, we're going to end up going to the grocery store and we're going to look for our meat when it's on sale. And when it's on sale, we're going to stock up. So we might go spend $1,000 on meat, but we won't have to do that for an entire month. And we're going to have high quality food. We're going to have high quality meat for an entire month for $1,000. If you have a family, if you're more than 2 or 3 people, 4 or 5 people, you're going to find that you're going to be spending $1,600 to $1,800 a month on groceries if you actually budget it. If you look at where your spending goes in your grocery budget, you're going to find that $1,000 a month is dirt cheap these days. Get some eggs, get some ground beef, get some steaks, find it all on sale, and you can actually eat cheaper and healthier as a carnivore. Overcoming being a vegetarian or a vegan or something like that, that's a whole different story. I don't have any advice for that. That's something I never had to deal with. But I know a lot of vegans are turning carnivore because they're experiencing symptoms of malnutrition. I want you to see this, guys. Hopefully the traffic isn't too loud. Got stairs. So what I'm getting at is, back to the stink nettle bush. Try eating some of these plants. You can't. They'll kill you. And the reason why is because they don't want to be eaten. And they can't move, so they're easy targets. Meanwhile, those plants are filling your mind and your body with toxins, with poison. I hear the saying, the dose makes a poison. Well, how do you know if you're overdosing? What dose are you taking? Look at this. Something else. So beautiful. I love it. So having the courage to change, it's also having the courage to change your nutrition. It's having the courage to change who your friends are. It's having the ability to say no to others and yes to yourself. It's having the ability to sit down and do that meditation, sit down and say that prayer. It's having the ability to not be afraid that you believe in God or any higher power for that matter, whatever your preference is, the universe, God, it's just a blanket term, whoever you believe it is. Hello. It's figuring out what is important for you and not being afraid to say it. Anyway, that's all I got for today, guys. I appreciate you guys showing up. Oh, come on through. Appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate you guys showing up. I hope you're showing up for you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a wonderful day. Peace.